Mm, yes, and of course, you've mentioned that there are challenges with the left, and of course, it is currently fragmented and disjointed at the moment. The socialist camp is diverse and has some less radical derivatives in its ranks, such as SACP and COSATU, which tend to stay clear of land expropriation and nationalization debates while resisting any attempts by the government to privatize bankrupt state owned entities. If the left were to consolidate, do you think the moderate left will disappear in South Africa and only the radical left will remain?
I think that probably is what would happen if there was a full left consolidation at this point. The radical left that wants expropriation without compensation, that wants full redistribution, that doesn't really believe in growing the economy, that believes much more in cutting it up and reparceling it out. That faction has a much more charismatic leadership presence, and it's got a much stronger legacy of intellectually injecting its ideas into the body politic in the academy, universities, in parts of the media space. The reason for that is during the struggle against apartheid, a kind of radical vision was very appealing. Moderates had tried for decades to speak reasonably with the apartheid leaders and were basically ignored. And so a more radical mood took over and bore fruit. But there's momentum in politics. And the thing that worked in the last war doesn't necessarily work in this war, but the generals will want to fight in the same strategy in any case because it's what they know. So the generals who won the last war, they won it with a more radical line. And I think that is the kind of momentum that's carried over, particularly if you look in MK's top leadership and in the EFFs, the calls that have been made are clear and historically consistent. And the final aspect to that is voters who hear the same message over and over again at least know this is what this politician stands for. The moderates haven't learned how to pick their message and stick to it. If a moderate is wishy-washy and says one thing one day and another thing another day, they lose connection with voters.